guys, welcome to another of my videos. My name is Kipcia. If this is your first time watching, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about some things to look out for when finding an apartment here in Japan. I'm about to complete 2 years living here in Japan and it's been amazing, but it is a bit difficult to find apartments here in Japan. So I wanted to break it down. 8 important things to look out for when looking for an apartment here in Japan. The first one I would definitely very much encourage is finding an apartment that has air conditioner, and this is what I am talking about. It gets, especially here in Osaka, it gets really humid in the summer and it gets really cold in the winter. Actually right now it is pretty cold. You know, in Japan there is no such thing as central heating. In companies and such, they do have central heating, but in a regular apartment or house, there is no such thing as central heating, which I actually do like because the electricity bill doesn't get too high. But yeah, one of those babies would be very ideal to find in your apartment and to have. The second one is to look out for key money. Key money is pretty much a gift that you give to your landlord. That money you won't be getting it back, and sometimes it can be pretty pricey. It can be from $400 to $800 depending on which apartment you get. But the key money can be a lot of money. The third one is finding a guarantor. A lot of places do require you to have a guarantor, and that is pretty much a person that will be able to pay for your bill if you're not able to. This is definitely very different than from the States, because once you're an adult, you're pretty much an adult and you have to pay for your own bills. But here in Japan, especially for foreigners, they do require you to have a guarantor. Most of the time should be a person with a good stable job making pretty good money, and sometimes preferably Japanese. The fourth thing to look out for is a down payment. Is it called deposit or is it called down payment? I think it's called a down payment. I believe deposit and down payment are the same thing, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to talk about as a down payment. The down payment can range from the amount of the first month's rent or even 2 months' rent, depending on the situation and the apartment you want. This down payment you will get back, but if you've caused a lot of damages to your apartment, they will take the money from that down payment. The fifth thing to look out for is how much money they want for a month's rent. For the first month's rent. Sometimes when you first move in, they require you to pay up to the next 3 months' rent. So it's a good thing to know that before going into the contract, because there's just a bunch of money that you need to save up for the first initial move-in date, and you will need all that money. So make sure you know how much money you need to buffer out for. The sixth thing to look out for is, does the apartment complex have an elevator? There are some apartment complexes that don't have an elevator. Like, for example, the apartment that we are living currently does not have an elevator. We live in the 4th floor, and that's the highest floor, and it does get pretty challenging bringing groceries up, bringing certain items up, forgetting my keys, and then having to rush back to the 4th floor. Having an elevator is just very convenient, and it's actually something that can either break or make an apartment complex. Number 7 is transportation. How far or close is the apartment complex from the nearest station? This is very important, especially in Japan, because most people don't have cars unless you want to ride your bicycle to work. This is something that you need to look into. Also, how will people visit you? Sometimes if your apartment is near a train station, a lot of people are more inclined to come visit you, but if you live outside and it's kind of far away and inconvenient for people to visit you, it's kind of tough to get together now and then. So make sure you live in a place that a lot of transportation runs through there. And also that makes up for the 8th thing that I wanted to talk about, is how long will your commute to be from work. If the commute is about an hour and a half away, it can be pretty challenging. That's the commute that my husband currently has to Expo City. Is about an hour and a half. It works for him. I can't do trains for a long time because I get really nauseated. So a commute like that would just kill me. But someone like him, that would actually work. My commute is about 45 minutes on the train, about 35 if I were to ride my bicycle, which I do most of the time. It's a lot better for me. So yeah, getting an apartment in Japan, it can be a little difficult. You have to go through a company that will show you apartments around. You could just wait it out, ask people around if they know about any apartment complexes, and ask that way, but most of the time you have to go through a company and they will find an apartment for you. And to use their services, it cost us maybe about $300 to use them. Yeah, we're loving our apartment. We've been living here for about a year now. It will be a year in March. And yeah, we really like it. We love living in Japan. And of course, if there's anything that I've missed or you want to ask me personally, please leave it down in the comments below and I'll make sure to answer back. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video was somewhat helpful. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! We'll go for the summer.